But there is a problem. Okay, now we've allowed more people to vote, but there's always a problem of getting people to turn out to vote. And so that's a problem with all age groups, especially younger people. How do you get them to the polls? Now you got them registered, they're able to vote, but how do you get them out to vote? Okay, nominating a candidate. There are primaries, open and closed primaries. A closed primary means only if it's a Democratic primary, only Democrats can vote in it. If it's a Republican primary, only Republicans can vote in it. That's called a closed primary. An open primary, you can be a Democrat or a Republican and vote in the Democratic Party, or you can be a Democrat or a Republican and vote in the Republican Party. It's sometimes called rating because you might, if let's say you're a Republican, you go in and vote for a Democratic candidate, the one you think is the worst, because you want them to have their worst candidate. So that's called rating. If a bunch of Democrats go over and vote Republican, they can get a bad candidate in there. We've talked about a caucus before. It's a more informal way of nominating a candidate. It's not used in as many states as primaries are. Okay, a war chest. You need to build up finances. You're going to have ads on TV. You're going to have to be able to contact people. You're going to have to pay staff. You need a war chest. You need to get money. Then you have to have a campaign strategy. You know, who are we going to go for first? What kind of ads are we going to use? How much are we going to spend? You need to develop slogans. You know, slogans against your opponent and for yourself. That little jingles that people can have in their brain. Retail politics is direct personal contact. You go door to door. You talk to people. You go to train stations and shake hands. So retail politics is where you have direct contact. Wholesale politics is when you use large-scale media. You use the TV. You use radio. You send out flyers and things. So retail and wholesale politics. Then the National Convention. Once you've had a campaign strategy, you've fought against opponents, you finally won the nomination of your party. At the National Convention, that's where all the Democrats come together. It's at the end of the summer. All the Republicans come together at their convention, and they nominate their person for president. It's like a coronation ceremony or something. So here's a pictorial of it. You first make an announcement, okay? I want to run for president. You make it public, okay? Then from there, you've got to form a campaign organization. You have to have someone that's leading your strategies, is telling people what to do. Then you've got to get the bucks. You've got to go out and get your war chest. You need money to run a campaign. Will people support you? There's your war chest, okay? Then you've got to develop a strategy now. You've got this money. How are you going to spend it? What are you going to put the money into? And then after you run in primaries and caucuses, you've got to win. So you run against the other candidates, and when you win, and then when you finally do, at the National Convention, you are honored in front of everybody from your party, and you are now the candidate for president. Okay, this shows the different places that have primaries, the time frame. In green, that's all the early states. And then, so different states, you can see by the colors on this map, different states have primaries at different times. So the primaries for president are just held all over the place, different dates and times through the 50 states. There's not really a coordinated system. Different states have primaries, different days. Okay, the election is always held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November in even years. And so you can always know when the election is going to be. Just go to the first Tuesday in November, whatever it is, and then look to the first Monday after that. So it'll never be November 1st, because November 1st can never be the first Tuesday after the first Monday. But that's the formula for knowing when the election is. There are three types of general elections. There's the presidential election, which is held every 4 years. Then there's the midterm election, which is held on the years in between the presidential election. And then there are off-year or local elections. Okay, so to look at this, building a winning coalition, motivate the base and move to the center. So once you've been nominated, here's a strategy you can use. You want to motivate the base, get the people that are going to vote for you. If you're a Democrat like Barack Obama, okay, you've got to motivate the people that are Democrats. They've got to be behind you. So that's square one. Then once you've done that, you need to move your positions to the center, because most of the Americans are moderate, and so you have to kind of be sure you're speaking to the center to get other people to vote for you. Okay, so in these elections that we looked at here, the presidential election, every 4 years, president and vice president are elected, a third of the Senate, and all members of the House. The same thing in the midterm election, just no president. You've got 1/3 of the House, the Senate is elected, all members of the House, most state governors. The off-year elections occur in odd-numbered years. So, 2011, 2013, and this is where city councils, city mayors, local people are elected during the off-year elections. Okay, the Electoral College, the way that we elect our president. We've talked about this before. It's a winner-take-all system. Here is the number of electoral votes each state has. Illinois has 21. California has 55. And whoever wins that state gets all the electoral votes. It's a winner-take-all system. Battleground states then become the states that are close. Some states we know Barack Obama's going to win. Some states we know Mitt Romney's going to win. But the battleground states are the states we don't know who's going to win those states. Proportional representation, 2 states actually use this. You can see here, Nebraska, instead of giving winner take all, if a candidate gets some votes, they're willing to give him some of the electoral votes. So almost every state has winner take all, but there are 2 states, Maine and Nebraska, that allow proportional representation. They allow the candidate that gets the most votes gets the most amount of electoral votes, but even the candidate that loses gets some of the electoral votes. That's called proportional representation. The formula to know how many people are how many electoral votes each state has is just count the number of people in Congress. In Illinois, we have 19 people in the House and 2 senators, so that's 21. That's the formula for every state. You count the number of representatives plus the number of senators. You need 270 electoral votes to win because there's a total of 538. If you count all these, there's 538 electoral votes. The majority is 270, so to win the presidential election, you need 270 electoral votes. So here's how the last election went with Obama and McCain. The red states are McCain, the blue states are Obama. You can see which states they won there. This is if you made the state the actual size of population. So what looked here like they were about even, you can see here by the blue that Barack Obama had a lot more electoral votes than McCain did. And this is the way it looks right now between Romney and Obama. You can see again that the Republicans largely have these middle states in here, and the Democrats have the Northeast and the West Coast there. And so these white states, those are the battleground states. Those are the states that are up for grab right now between Romney and Obama. Those states will decide the election. Ohio, Colorado, and Iowa, Wisconsin. Okay, here's the battleground states right here. These are the ones where Obama and Romney are spending almost all their time. And there's different proposals for reforming the Electoral College. And then financing campaigns.